I'm going to show you how to make even basic strumming sound advanced. My name is Jake, and I've been teaching guitar to the coolest people on the internet for the last 16 years. By the end of this video, you'll have actionable steps of things you can do right now to make your strumming sound better, even on simple strum patterns. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can apply to your strumming practice right now, and at the end, I'm going to give you my favorite exercise for working on strumming. So the first thing that you can do to make your strumming sound better is to relax. Now, I know you've heard that everywhere. Relax, relax, relax. But I'm going to give you 2 specific things that you can do to actually practice relaxation while you're strumming. So the first one is, as you're strumming, I want you to sort of mentally search your body and see where you might have tension that you don't expect. So we often think, oh, are my elbows tight, or are my fingers tight, or are my shoulders creeping up to my ears? That's the first place we look. But I also want you to think, are you pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth or clenching your jaw? Are you curling your toes or like clenching your butt cheeks? A lot of times we have tension in our body, places that aren't our wrists, hands, and arms, but are still making it harder to play relaxed and fluidly. The second way that we can work on relaxation is making sure we're strumming with our elbow and our wrist, both side to side and up and down. You'll notice that as I'm strumming, my elbow is keeping time, da, 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 but I'm actually attacking the string with my wrist. I'm using a sort of turning motion, like I'm opening a door, to get accents to make beats sound stronger, and then I'm going up and down with my wrist to actually physically bring the pick into contact with the strings. In order to have our wrist be moving both ways, we really need to keep it nice and relaxed. So putting our focus there will help us bring that relaxation into our strumming. The second thing we can do to make even boring strums sound more professional is make sure that we are only strumming the strings that we want to strum. If I'm playing a D chord, I want to strum string 4 open, but I don't want to strum string 5 open. And I certainly don't want to strum string 6 open. So there's a couple different ways that we can tame those unwanted strings. The first is to be really accurate with our right hand, which is possible, but it takes time to develop. One way we can practice that is actually plucking the string, that's our lowest string, right before we strum the chord. So instead of doing a full down strum, we intentionally pluck that first string. That'll help train us to find it without having to look at it. Another thing that we can do is called fret hand muting. For this D chord in particular, I can roll my thumb over and gently touch strings 6 and 5. So if I accidentally catch them with my pick, you can't hear them. Let's take another chord to break this down as well. Let's take a C chord. What I can do is I can position my ring finger in such a way that it's touching the side of the 6th string, so it'll be muted, and if I accidentally catch the 6th string, it's not going to ring out. The third and most important thing is our timing. What we can do is we can actually leave a chord early in a strum pattern to make sure we get to the next chord on beat 1. So if I'm playing a D to a G, I'm actually leaving the chords, and the last strum is just open strings. But when I get to beat 1 and I play the first note of the new chord correctly, we're going to hear it as if it is correct, even though we played a few wrong notes on the way there. And the faster a song is, the more likely this is happening, even for professional players on recordings that you love. I would say go listen to a few of your favorite strumming songs and see if you can hear, as they're changing chords, you hear a little bit more open strings ringing because they have to get from one chord to another. And no matter how fast your fingers are, it isn't instant. I love talking about strumming, and I always am trying to make these videos based on what you're struggling with. So I would love it if you would tell me in the comments what's most difficult about strumming for you right now. Is it timing? Is it tone? Is it touch? what's going on in your strumming so that I can hopefully make a video and help out with that. I'm going to explain to you my favorite strumming exercise in just a sec, but before that, if you're getting a lot out of this video, I think you would really love my community and course, school.com/guitargympro, if you want to check that out. So if you've seen any of my videos, I'm sure you know how much I love using a metronome, but I'm actually going to say let's not use a metronome for this particular exercise. So once you can play a strum pattern, I'm going to play this. And so I would count that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So once you can play that with a metronome and do the counting, what I like to do is I like to set a timer for maybe 2 minutes. And I just start really, really slowly. And I play that pattern maybe 2 or 4 times. And then I slowly start to speed up. And then if I start to falter, if I get a little sloppy or if it's not good, I slow back down again and slowly start to speed it up after a couple repetitions. And it would sound like this. The reason I like to do it this way is because each metronome setting, each BPM that we're doing this at is going to feel different and it's going to require slightly different mechanics. And so when we try to just go one jump at a time on the metronome after doing it for a chunk, sometimes it can feel awkward because we need to use new muscles and be relaxed in new places and have our wrists move in a slightly new way. But when we do it this way, we can get some pretty quick and instant feedback. We're able to push the tempo forward and pull the tempo back however we need. If you want some more tips on strumming, but focused on exactly what you're doing with your pick, this video is going to help you out a ton.